Hey, what's poppin', sexies? It's your boy here, and we back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and today we got my main man ZeShado on the hook. ZeShado, what's going on?
Hey man, how's it going? Thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, anytime. You're always welcome over here, and I've actually been meaning to get you on the channel again, but
hmm
the last time that I did Chaos 8th Raid season, like the first time I had you as a guest, we did regular 8th Raids, right? But for the
Yeah,
Chaos...
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but then for the Chaos season, scheduling didn't really work out too well for me, so... Regardless, we are here today, and we have some very interesting news in the Fae world. We have the Choose Your Legends 4 refines on the horizon. So basically what we're going to do today is me and ZeShado are going to talk about these refines, or possible refines, and we're going to try to come up with ideas on what the units would need to actually improve and cover up any weaknesses they may have. And hopefully, when we get their actual refines, they're going to end up being as glorious as they should be. With the exception of this dumbass right here. I don't care about her. But these two, I think, really need some chance to shine, right? So, I guess, why don't we go ahead and start things off with Claude. So, we have Brave Claude here. And his weapon, Wind Parthia, has 14 might, 2 range, effective against flying, of course, because he is a bow unit, accelerates special trigger, and if unit initiates combat or if unit is in 2 spaces of an ally, he gets all stats up 5 in combat, and also if he deals damage to the foe using a special, he gets back 50% of his maximum HP, and that's going to trigger even if he doesn't do any damage at all. So right now, that is pretty much the strongest sustain effect in the entire game, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really think there's any
As
that's...
far as I know, I would say in terms of just sustainability, probably. But we do also have Brave Seliph and Ascended Silica, which they do their own thing for the most part, but they can also have their double Mystic boost or even attack res finish on the Silica.
Right.
And they can always just heal back to the Miracle.
Right, we have a lot of healing effects in the game now, like Mystic Boost, we've got the finish skills, we got Bulwark, so a lot of passive healing has been added, but as far as just a straight up one heal effect, I think this is still the highest one. Yeah,
I believe so, yeah. 50%? I don't think we have anything higher than that.
Yeah, because I know the Grimas, both of the Halloween Grimas, they only do 30%, so...
Yep.
Yeah, this one is just pretty crazy. Now, what's interesting is that he's kind of being sold as a player phaser here. He's got Fury 4, Chill Speed and Defense, and then Attack and Speed Rain. And then his weapon with the +5 to all stats and -1 special trigger. It seems like they do want him to player phase, but they gave him that healing effect, which a lot of people decided to give him close foil and run him more as a bait tank. So
yeah, I remember that being a really popular thing in the past, where people would just put on 8th Raid's defense with close foil,
right.
And then he would always heal back whatever he could.
Yeah,
which is why I do think if he needs to get any effect, it would probably have to be Tempo, so at least he can secure it.
Right, yeah. I remember the combo was to pair him up with Brave Lucina and then give him Luna as his special, so he does 50%. Or he reduces the foe's defense by 50%, and then he gets the 50% recovery when he hits. So it's almost like he has Ether by doing that, and he can just use it after he gets hit every single time. So, pretty interesting. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there by saying he needs Tempo. So, Tempo would be pretty good, just ignoring any guard effects so he can use higher cost specials a lot more easily. I think also Null Follow-Up would be a pretty good idea here. Just, it's the go-to bread and butter for all of these fast player-phasing units. What else? Maybe they give him true damage somehow. When he does a special, he gets, 50%, or maybe that's too high, but, 30% of his speed based as true damage when he does a special. Just things like that, I think, would be pretty good. Because if you look at him as he is, he's not really doing that much damage compared to some of the newer stuff. He's just relying on his special damage and the all stats of 5, which that's not really going to cut it anymore.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
So if they were to just increase it, just his damage output and his sustainability, he would in turn, yeah, absolutely have more bulk. At least that's my logic with it. Like, you have his sustain, and then if he's killing, he's taking less damage in general. So that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, so that would be a good idea, too. What else could they get? Oh, another thing. He doesn't have a unique beast skill like the other two house leaders here. So Dimitri's got Blue Lion rule, and then Edelgard's got Black Eagle rule. What are the chances that they give this guy Golden Deer rule? You think that's a possibility at all, or they're just not going to do it?
I would hope they would do it in the future. I don't see it around this time, mainly because I think they would have announced it alongside, like, the remix skills and stuff, but to be fair, this is also, like, something that would be, like, brand new, so they could always do something else with it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the future with, like, an anniversary or something, or, like, maybe a year again down the line. But who can really say?
That does seem like a good idea for an anniversary update. Like, go back and take some of the PRF skills on the earlier Choose Your Legends heroes. Like, if we look at Gen 1, let's see. Let me bring up Ike and Lynn real quick. If I can find them. Alright, so there's Ike. And then there's Lynn. So, Ike's is so bad I don't even have it equipped. But, let's see. Where is Bayork's Blessing? Okay. So, some of the older Choose Your Legends perf skills. We have Bayork's Blessing here. Neutralizes cavalry and flying bonuses from rallies and fortifies during combat. And that's it. Like, does that sound good enough? I don't know.
I don't really remember it being good at launch either. I just remember Brave Lynn being, like, super toxic, especially with Reinhardt.
Right.
That was always a thing.
It was kind of okay at launch because cavalry and flying emblem teams were basically the go-to. They would run Hone Cav or Hone Flyer and Fortify of either two. And it was easy to get +6 to all stats back then because we didn't really have a way to get stat bonuses on infantry types at the time. Like, that was before the tactic skills had released. So, like, I kind of get what they were going for with this, but it just wasn't really good enough. It was really niche as well. Like, it's not always going to be a guarantee that he's fighting a cavalry or a flying enemy. So, like, I think what they could do with this is probably turn it into a supreme lull skill. Like, he does a bunch of stat decreases to the enemy, and then maybe he inflicts guard as well, and then they give him more things, like he can nullify his own penalties. Just things like that, I think, would be what they had to do with this. And then Lynn's...
I think that would work out, yeah.
Yeah, so then we have Lynn here, who gets essentially fire sweep against sword, lance, and axe enemies. That also is a little bit underpowered, because it's not quite as good as wind sweep. But at the same time, it doesn't block you from doing your own second attack, which is good in the case of this Lynn, because she doesn't have null follow-up. So you can definitely find uses for this, and it was also really busted when it came out, too. So there's not really many complaints there, but I would say, relative to what we have today in the game, this is just way too underpowered. So, yeah, like, going back and updating some of the old perf skills, I think would be a really good decision on their part. And maybe even give perf skills to some of the ones that didn't even get them. Like, we've seen recently the runner-ups have been getting perf B skills, and Brave Lucina never got one. And the Brave Roy never got one, and so on and so forth. So, I think that would just be a good idea. Just give all of the Choose Your Legends units a unique B skill to work with, so they have, like, some separation.
Honestly, yeah, especially with Eliwood being a thing, I would definitely be a big advocate for a peer, or like some sort of PRF skill for Roy, even if it's like a 3 cooldown or 2 cooldown Gale Force or something. Yeah. Anything that can at least allow him to differentiate himself, because, yeah, nobody really uses Roy.
Yeah, and I mean, to add insult to injury, the actual 3-star Eliwood is just better for the most part. He's easier to merge up, and he's got just a better stat line than that Roy does. So, yeah, Roy never really got his chance. Okay, now
Maybe that's why they don't do the weapon upgrades anymore.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so now we move on to Dimitri. Now, this guy is... I think he might be the hot topic of the night, because, like, a lot of people have high expectations for his refine. I've been seeing people going around saying that all of the Choose Your Legends refines we've gotten, it's always the male winner who gets all of the love. So, we had Brave Ike before, we had Brave Hector prior to that, and then Brave Alm as well. Most people consider them the winners of their batches. So, Dimitri being the winner for the males division, is he going to end up being the one to get all the good stuff?
You know, I would hope, mainly because he really needs the help. I've said it before, where, like, even though Gretagu isn't, like, a crazy good weapon, or, like, really that serviceable, at the very least, he does have Blue Line Rule, which is really good, especially paired with other inheritables.
Right.
But given that they still want to keep him in the Omni tank, he's definitely going to need a lot more than just Missile Chain with Distant Counter.
Yeah, that's this guy's main issue. Is he's trying to be a bait unit, but then his res is dookie. We got 19 res here. That's not going to do anything. A mage is just going to look at him funny, and he's going to pass out and die. So,
oh yeah,
what they need to do with him, so his weapon right now, it has distant counter unconditionally, which is why a lot of people are biting their nails. Usually, the unconditional DC weapons just get shafted to all hell. But we have seen in the past, some of them ended up looking pretty good. Like, let's see, actually, here's an example. Where is Legendary Tiki? I think this one's actually pretty solid for what it is. So, she's got effective against dragons, she's got unconditional distant counter, she has adaptive damage, and then when she's over 25% HP, she gets all stats up 4 and does a penalty on the enemy's attack equal to 75% of total bonuses on her defense and res, which is easy for her to get because she has a unique buffing passive on her C skill. So, I don't think this guy is dead in the water just because he has innate DC on his weapon. I think that doesn't really matter. They could just go ahead and give him the goods if they're going to. And
yeah, I think they could easily do something, for sure. Like, I know Tiki got her, like, remix skill, so she did have a bit of an edge. And as far as we know right now, Blue Line Rule isn't going to get a remix.
Right.
But if we are just basing it off any sort of potential with the like a distant counter refund, I do think maybe they're going to be a bit biased and give him something a bit over 2. Not only because he's like one of the first place winner, but also 3 houses tend to get treated pretty well in general in this game.
Yeah, I mean, just look at that summer banner we had where literally the whole banner is just insane.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, so also, besides distant counter, he also has the special cooldown charge +1 during the enemy's attack. So it's basically the breath effect that they gave to him. Not really going to do him much good if the enemies have something like tempo or guard or whatever to block him from doing that. And another big issue with that is this guy doesn't have -1 special trigger. So it's pretty tough for him to run a big damaging special like maybe Bonfire or something that you would definitely want to give him based on his good defense. So, okay, before we talk about that, let's actually take a look at his Perf B skill, and then I'll talk about what I think they could add to his weapon. So, Blue Lion Rule, if his defense is better than the foe's defense, he gets damage reduction based on the difference between stats ×4. So, it's basically dodge, except does a defense check instead. And also, if the foe initiates, he makes a guaranteed follow-up. So, he also gains quick repost there.
Honestly, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not too shabby for a B skill. You get quick repost, and then you're getting damage reduction based on defense, which I think actually this is the only unit in the game that has that. Is there anyone else?
I believe so, yeah. Because everything else is generally built into, like, the weapon.
Yeah, all the other damage reduction passives are either speed or res, from what I've seen. So, this guy's the only one that does it for defense, which is interesting. Okay, so with all of that taken into account, this guy's basically got distant counter, he's got breath, he's got damage reduction, and then he has quick riposte. So 4 effects there, pretty solid to work with, but they're going to have to give this guy a massive glow up, because he's got 19 res, and distant counter is not really going to do much with that. I think what they could do, actually, is give him what they gave to Asker. Let's see, where is Asker? Let me bring him up real quick. Yeah, so this guy, he has a true damage reduction effect where 20% of his defense is going to be calculated in as true damage reduction and also true damage for every attack he does and every attack he takes. And that's just really strong, man. Like, look at this. This guy's got 43 defense. So 20% of that, what is that, like 8 points of damage reduction, basically? Yep. And you can't get rid of that damage reduction. You can't use Deadeye or Lethality to block that. He's always going to have it. So I think they need to do something like that for Dimitri as well, where he's just getting damage reduction from an outside source that can't be blocked. And that's the one way I think they'd be able to fix his low res. Like, can you imagine if he does, like, instead of giving him more damage, like, what if they gave him half of his defense as true damage reduction? So, like, he just negates 20 points of damage with every hit that he takes.
Honestly, if they did that, I think he could make for a decent Omni tank if that's what they want to keep him as. I can easily see that.
Yeah, because at least then his res isn't going to be the deal breaker and just stop him from being used. But at the same time, 20 points of damage reduction that you can't stop, that's pretty goddamn bonkers. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would want to do that, but just some food for thought.
Mm-hmm. I had my Helpium Copium thing in like one of my videos that I released earlier today. By the way, go check it out.
Yeah.
But I said they only need to give him one effect, and it's basically akin to like a reverse Mystic boost, where the foe targets the higher of his defense or res. Which would probably be really ridiculous, to be fair.
So
I don't think they're going to do it.
That's a cool idea. Like, instead of adaptive damage, he makes all attacks target his defense instead of res.
Yep. And I would think, like, you put it behind, like, some sort of HP condition, you know, like the standard 25%. Right. So at the very least, it could work against, like, AoEs. So, like, if they need to, like, shred him down like that, they can.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that. That's a really good idea, actually. I like that. Yeah, force them to attack his defense, even the mages. That's pretty good. Okay, but outside of that, his player phase game kind of sucks because he doesn't have -1 special trigger, and he's only getting quick riposte, so he doesn't get a guaranteed follow-up on his phase. And his speed is pretty middle as well. Only 36 speed there. Does he have a speed super boon? I can't remember.
I think he might, but I don't remember it being generally impressive.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
Even then, you can still make it work. I'm definitely an advocate of, like, workable speed, so...
Yeah, if he were to have a super boon, that'd put him at, what, like 40 base speed? That's not enough to cut it now. Like, compared to... Let's see, let me just bring up someone fast. Like, this Niffle right here. I don't even have a boon on her at all. She's just naturally at 43 speed. And then her weapon's giving her speed and all that stuff. So, I feel like...
Yeah, it's definitely speed creep.
They would need to give him something on the player phase so you can at least attack with him. But at the same time, I don't really know what that would be. Other than just a ludicrous amount of true damage. Like, oh... Here's another concept. What if they just built Atrocity into this guy's weapon? Or like
Atrocity was the 25% of units attack with Pulse Smoke and Spectrum Smoke?
Right. Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, because if they're not going to give him like enough speed to work with a null follow-up build or -1 special trigger and all that stuff, that's probably the next best thing they could do, is just give him Atrocity on his weapon so he can just go ahead and start dishing out massive damage. So right here... No, not that guy. This guy. Yeah, so he gets 50% bonus damage based on 25% of his attack, and then Spectrum Smoke, pretty much. Pretty good. I think that would be a good way to do it. And also, what for Claude, I didn't bring this up when we were talking about him, but they could easily just build Fallen Star into his weapon if they wanted to.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Especially if they do want to, like, keep it in tandem with his healing bulk gimmick.
Right, yeah.
Fallen Star would definitely work.
Yeah, Fallen Star with the 50% heal, that would just be gross. But yeah, like, and then people would still run the close foil build on this guy. That would be really nutty, actually. Like him with Fallen Star in the weapon and then close foil. And then like null follow-up if they gave it to him. That would be looking real good.
Normally I would be like, I don't know if they want to do that for a free 5-star that people got, but then they put it on a demote 4-star on a seasonal banner, so I guess anything's game.
Yeah. Okay, and last but most certainly not least, we have this bitch, Edelgard, with her Flower Hauteclear. So, out of all of the units, I don't have Lyceithia, unfortunately, so I can't just bring her up. We'll talk about her right after this, but Edelgard is still playable. A lot of people still run her on their defenses, especially if you have her at plus 10 and you give her far save or near save. She's one of the best units to benefit from those save skills. So her weapon, she's got -1 special trigger. If her HP is over 25%, she can move an extra space. She can also jump to an ally within 2 spaces. So she gives herself a, what would I call that? Like a formation effect, where she can just jump to allies. And it doesn't matter what movement type they are either, so it's just super guidance, essentially. And then also, at the start of combat, if her HP is over 25%, she does attack and defense -6 on the foe during combat. So,
honestly,
yeah,
they did kind of release, well, I'm joking, but they kind of already gave her dedicated PRF already, like, last month, in the form of a Stout Axe. That weapon, paired with a Black Eagle rule, kind of just makes her like an armor Brave Ike, which is pretty gross.
Yeah. One thing that I've always liked about this Edelgard is that she is probably the best player phaser out of the batch, because her movement abilities just... She's essentially an armored unit without armored weaknesses, because she can just move wherever she wants. And then you combine that with Black Eagle rule, which gives her a guaranteed follow-up if she's over 25% health. She gets 80% DR on any follow-up attacks after the first. And unfortunately, brave attacks can still go through that, but I probably shouldn't say unfortunately, because otherwise, how the hell would we kill her? So...
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so she gets that. And it's essentially like she has Deflect Missile and Deflect Magic all built into her B skill right there. And when you combine the guaranteed follow-up, the -1 special trigger, and the mobility, and the -6 to attack and defense, and her naturally just really good stats, I think she can pull off being both a player phaser and an enemy phaser really well. The build that most people like to do is give her Heavy Blade, so that she can just ramp right into Aether, and then clap him in the face and get the KO before the enemy's possible second attack. But as far as her refine goes, what do you think they could do for her?
Honestly, the only way I can feasibly see refine being at minimum kind of worth it is either if they kind of dip into her player phase niche with the orders and extra movement, or at minimum they give her damage reduction on the first hit. Because I know I was joking about like Stout Axe, but it does pair really, really well with Black Eagle rule. So at the minimum, I think they need to give us some reason to use this over like consistent damage reduction, you know?
Right, yeah. So one of the big things people want to do with her is give her damage reduction on the first hit. So she can have basically damage reduction essentially at every point during the fight. So, like, I think Ike already has that. Brave Ike already has that. Like, he has 40% damage reduction on the first attack, and then 80% on the following attacks and after.
Yep.
So what they could do with her is maybe give her 40% damage reduction on the first attack on the weapon. And maybe they could give her like a special cooldown ramp effect like Heavy Blade or something, so she doesn't need to run that as the Sacred Seal. And then what else could they do? Let's say like I regret saying this, but they could probably give her a Raging Storm so she gets another action after she attacks. That way you could possibly even run Gale Force on her and then just take 3 actions in a turn.
I would dig that. Yeah, absolutely. Every other Edelgard besides like the original kind of has it, so why not?
Right, yeah, just give her everything. So yeah, I think giving her all of that, like what I just said, damage reduction on the first hit, some kind of special ramping effect, and then also Raging Storm to take the second action. That's definitely what I would say they need to do with her for more player phasing. I think her enemy phasing is already solid enough. And with the 40% DR, that would just make that even more true. So yeah, those are the house leaders, pretty much. Now, one guy in the chat just actually saved the day and said he set up a Lyceithia in his friends list for us to take a look at. So let me see if I can find it real quick.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so let's see here. Oh, actually, it's probably faster if I just go into rival domains, right?
I think. I actually don't know like the whole friend list gimmick thing, because I know sometimes you have to like refresh it on a map or something, or it's
All right.
like with your lead.
I found her. So Artorius, man, you saved the day. Thank you so much. So we have here a very loved Lyceithia. Look at her, plus 10, plus speed, plus 5 flowers. You'll love to see it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Lyceithia's got Dark Spikes T, 14 might, 2 range, effective against calves. She gets speed up 3, and at the start of combat, if her HP is, or rather, if the foe's HP is below or equal to 75%, she grants attack and speed up 6 to herself, and also if the unit's HP is not full and unit initiates combat, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack before the foe can counterattack. So, Lyceithia is very much a player phase unit. However, she's never really stood out in that role, in my opinion. Even when she came out, I think her effective against Cav was really the main selling point to her at that time. But, like, that's really all she has going for her. She doesn't have no follow-up built in unless you give it to her. She's got only attack and speed up 6 and then the speed up 3 pretty much. And she makes a guaranteed follow-up with Desperation. So if she's not on full HP and she attacks the foes, she can potentially hit them twice in a row. But unfortunately, she doesn't really have any sort of bonus damage going on here to really make that worthwhile. So I think most of the far save tanks are just going to face tank her like nothing. Like Ascendity Dune and Brave Hector, for example, just have nothing to fear from this Lyceithia. And maybe that wouldn't be the case if they gave her like some sort of damage boosting effect on her weapon here. What do you think they could do for her?
Honestly, I think the thing that was holding her back, especially from like the beginning, was the fact that she had to set up the 100% HP thing, which if she could just get it right out of the gate, I think that would be really, really good on its own. Right. But I also do think, given how prevalent a lot of mages are, especially like the brave ones, or like, you know, Ninja Core and Brave Micaiah, I think she needs some sort of distinct feature that can allow her to at least stand out a bit more, because otherwise she could always just get soaked by Hardy Fighter Deflect Magic.
Right. Now, here's an interesting concept that someone brought up. If Lyceithia gets the effect that they gave to the Christmas Dorothea, where at the start of the turn she does minus 1 HP to all allies in 2 spaces, that would trigger her below full health condition right there. And then also that's setting up your other units, because you're getting below HP with them, and you can start pulling off the Wombo combo with, what is it, Reciprocal Aid and Ardent Sacrifice, and then running danger builds with Wings of Mercy and Desperation and so on. So having another unit like Winter Bernadetta, I think, would be actually pretty cool. Hold on, let me just toss this Lyceithia on a team so we don't lose her. And
I
then
absolutely agree with that. I would like to see something a bit more, I guess, unique. I don't think it would be bad per se at all. I would just like to see something like, I guess something more distinct, because I think that's something they've been doing pretty well with as of late, just making units more unique. But
right.
we will have to like wait and see what they pretty much do, because even then, like, I wouldn't be upset if they just gave her the chip damage at the start of the turn, because that would literally just fix her.
Yeah, this Bernadetta, you don't even care if she fights at all. She's just there to do the chip damage to the whole team, and that allows you to set up some disgusting strategies. So all they would have to do is literally just give her that effect, and that would be enough to make her usable again, I think. Because not everyone has this Bernadetta. She's a seasonal locked character, whereas Lyceithia was free to spark on the original banner if you wanted to spark her. And like now she's going to be on another banner, which I'm sure is probably going to be sparkable again, the rerun banner for the refines. So she's going to be more accessible than Bernadetta, and the -1 chip damage thing just lets you set up so many strategies for Aether Raid's offense mainly, and I think that would just be one easy way to make her good. But
Sure, yeah.
What I would also want them to do, though, is just make her really strong on the player phase, because in 3 houses, that's how she is. She just kills everything in one hit. So what if they gave her, like, a Luna effect innately? So, like, she cuts the enemy's defensive res by half every time she attacks.
That would be really good. I know that would definitely, like, bring back a bit more damage reduction stuff, because if she's only cutting like half of it, well, half is still a lot to be fair, but
yeah,
if they're cutting half from like a Spartan tank that has like 30 res or something, then she's only getting like 15 extra damage, which will then be soaked by damage reduction. So honestly, I think that could be pretty good.
Yeah, she's pretty quick too. I wouldn't be surprised if she'd be able to win a speed check against most Spurn units. So I don't think she'd have to worry too much about speed-based damage reduction. Mm-hmm. But like with her guaranteed follow-up, like the guaranteed follow-up here, it eats through wary fighter effects. So she could have no follow-up, but it's not really necessary, as long as she's hitting the foes twice in a row. And then her having that innate Luna, like I said, so she can cut the enemy's defense by half. She's hitting them twice in a row. She's probably going to be able to eat through anything at that point.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Unless it's like flat damage reduction, but even then, that's still barely anything.
Right, and then one thing I also said in my video is, what if they gave her a bunch of effects to block, like damage reduction and effects like that? So, let's see here. Where is a unit that just negates damage reduction? I guess the...
Legendary Nana?
I don't have Nana. I was going for the Kid Innies.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, so this guy just neutralizes damage reduction skills from non-specials. And then you could have that on this Lyceithia. And what if they gave her a Nullify Miracle effect? Because in the past, like, 3 months, how many Miracle units did we get? It's been pretty crazy.
We've done quite a lot, actually.
Yeah.
We had Ascended Celica, we had Seliph, and now we had Deirdre, who just released.
Right, and then before even that, we had Ymir also. So...
yeah, there's a lot.
They just, out of nowhere, they were just like, okay, Miracle is the new thing, let's give it to everybody. So, what if Lyceithia just said no to Miracle and she just negated that? I think that would be a pretty cool way to differentiate her even more.
That'd be pretty good, yeah. It would be akin to, Legendary Nana. Sort of, because she does negate any sort of defensive special from memory, and I believe it also covers Miracle.
Oh, who does that?
So honestly, Legendary Nana.
Oh, I don't have Nana.
Right. I just figured I'd mention it, because she kind of...
Yeah, okay, so they actually do have a Nullify Miracle effect then. That's pretty interesting. I didn't even remember that. I looked at that Nana's kit once, and I was like, yeah, she's bananas. and then proceeded to skip her. So, yeah, okay, now let's go ahead and bring up all the other Choose Your Legends heroes. There's one final point I want to ask you before we move on to the next part of this video. Alright, there's Edelgard, and then... there's Claude. So, these are the 4 brave heroes. Which one of these guys do you think is going to get the best refine?
Honestly, I think it's kind of hard to say. I feel like Claude is definitely the most straightforward, but because of that, I don't think he's going to be, like, the best one. And Edelgard is still, like, really, really good, and they've shown in the past that, like, units that are still, like, decent at their time don't really get, like, the craziest refine. So I'm very... copium to saying Brave Dimitri, but he's also... I'm so indecisive with this because, like, there's so much going, like, for and against, like, all of these units.
Right. The thing about Edelgard still being the best right now, I think that's not going to matter to them at all, because you look at all the other Edelgard units in the game, and they're just so disgusting. I don't see any possible way they give this unit a substantial refine, and it doesn't just flat out make her the best. Like, they don't even have to do much to her. She's already good, so, like, anything else they give her is just extra at this point.
Totally fair.
Whereas... like, Dimitri needs such a crazy glow-up. They would have to just completely remake this guy. He wouldn't be distinguishable from what he is right now at all, necessarily, to make him good enough now.
See, it's funny you say that, because I was joking about this in a server, but they could pull, like, a Leo and just remove his base effect, and then just give him 5 more effects. So it's not even a DC weapon anymore.
Is that what they did with Leo?
Yeah, they removed his gravity.
Are you? I'm pretty sure that Leo still has gravity.
From what I remember, he doesn't. I think they traded it off for, like, some sort of damage reduction.
I'm fairly sure I have... hold on. Let me just check that. Let's see here. I think he kept the gravity and he also gained the damage reduction. But I could be wrong. Let's take a look at that. Or maybe I don't even have Leo. Okay, I definitely had him. I don't know where he is at the moment. Yeah, I'm not seeing him, like...
Did you refine him, though?
I found him. There he is. Okay, yeah, I actually haven't even refined him either, so... what he does right here, if he initiates, he inflicts gravity, basically. Let me just pull him up, and we'll quickly take a look at his refine. Yeah, because I know they gave him damage reduction, but then I can't remember what else they gave him after that. Let's see.
Oh, I think he prevents follow-up attacks as well.
Oh, you're right. They did take out the gravity effect. Okay, so yeah, he has 30% DR on magic enemies' first attack, and then if foe uses a bow, dagger, magic, or staff, he has higher defense, he basically blocks their follow-up.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so maybe they could do something like this for Dimitri. Just completely change his weapon entirely. Give him something different.
Honestly, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, that's what he needs at this point. Because they kind of... at the time, yeah, the infantry Omni tanks were kind of in vogue back then when he came out. But, like, nowadays, that's not really where it's at. You want your infantry units to just be disgusting player phasers now, and then save all the tanking for your armored units with the safe skills. So, like, yeah, just change his weapon completely. Well, why not? I don't see any reason not to. Okay, so yeah, I would say my money's still on Edelgard. Just whatever, any little thing they do to her is going to put her over the top no matter what. And then Dimitri... it's going to take the most effort to make him good, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did it, you know? And then Claude, I think Claude also has a lot to gain, but they're going to have to give him a lot of stuff too, like maybe like built-in Fallen Star, and then no follow-up, and then we'd probably be talking with this guy. And then finally for Lyceithia, who is on the special teams... oh no, not there. Wait, where is it? brigade team. Okay, yeah, so with Lyceithia, I feel like she could be a sleeper, though. Like, these other three, I think most of the attention is on them because they're the house leaders, but, like, Lyceithia could just come out of nowhere and be amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up happening.
Yeah, I can probably see that. She's definitely the easiest to fix comparatively to the other three, but Edelgard's also like a save armor who has Black Eagle roll with Stout Axe, so like even if her refine ends up being super tame, she's still winning.
Right. Yeah, so Lyceithia and Dimitri probably need the most help. I think Edelgard needs as little help as possible, and then Claude doesn't need much help. Like, the things that they would have to give him to make him good, I think, is probably what they're going to do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, these two are the wild cards, and then these two are probably just going to be good. That's going to be my take on that.
Yeah, I can probably see that. And we get the refines in 4 days, I think? So...
Yeah, it's in 4 days.
Pretty soon.
Right, so now that I have you guys' attention, we're going to go ahead and quickly hop in and get the runs in so I don't have to miss out on rewards this week. So we'll just go ahead and start things off with this right here, RB, because it's easy. You have any other thoughts while we're doing this? I'm going to try to, like, set my brain to auto mode so I don't have to, like, detract any from the conversation. Mm-hmm. What do you think is going to happen for... Oh, let's talk about the remixes a little for the legendary heroes. What do you think about those?
Julia's is pretty decent for the most part. She does have penalty neutralization, which I do like, because it just means she can secure a lot more damage, which is really nice. Sophis, I have no idea what they're planning outside of, like, potentially a Vantage refine, because she has the tempo effect, which is good just for securing Sirius, but I don't think anybody was expecting null counter disrupt at all.
Yeah. I think they dropped the ball with that, honestly. They're trying to make her a bait unit, and that's not really what she wants. As a defensive mythic hero, she wants to be more offensive. So, I think they could have gave her Dragon's Wrath. It's a really limited skill. It's only on 1 unit right now, and that unit happens to be a Sothis. So, her also coming with Wrath regular, I think they could have just gave her Dragon's Wrath, and that would have played up her defense and offense a bit. And then on top of that, what they could have did was give her, like, on her weapon, like, a tempo effect, so she can activate Sirius better. Maybe make Sirius do more damage. I'm not sure, like, maybe have it cut through damage reduction, or, like, cut the enemy's defense or res in half, or something. Just, like, she needs to be able to hit a lot harder than she does.
I think that is why they give her, like, the Null Guard built into her special. But also, Roy did have... I believe he also had tempo in his refine. So, I don't think they wanted to double dip, per se.
Right.
But considering they're, like, really... well, outside of Kane, I guess, they were pretty much super stingy on distant counter refines, because even units that, like, have, like, one... that don't even have, like, a distant counter weapon, they always come with, like, 4 effects now. Like, Rutger started out with a Slaying Edge, and now he has, like, Slaying, Damage Reduction, Dual Face Speed-Based Breath, and 10 Attack Speed, which is a lot more effects than Dragonbind. But to be fair, he also had Human Virtue too, which gave him some other stuff. But I think that's how they've been trying to circumvent the distant counter refines, for the most part, because they could just put them, they can offload it onto the PRF skills instead.
Right. Yeah, but unfortunately for the units that we have here, like Sothis and Brave Dimitri, they're not going to have updated perf skills to work with. Like, Sothis had her special, but that doesn't really count. That's not a perf skill. It is a perf skill, but it's not like a passive, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So, like, those skills are not going to get updated as far as we know. I don't know if they're going to do anything to Blue Lion Rule or anything like that. So, yeah, for them in particular, it's all riding on their weapon giving them everything that they need, and it's kind of up in the air if that's actually going to happen.
Right.
So I don't know what to expect from them, but I will at least say I was pretty impressed with what they were able to give to what's her face? Julia, right? So Julia got Nullify Panic, and she got also, well, not Nullify Panic, Nullify Penalties. She got Nullify Foes bonuses. She does all stats -5. I think they gave her pretty much exactly what she needed.
Yeah. I don't know like how they were really going to upgrade it to begin with, because it was basically an Omni Law with -4 to everything. But I think what they did was pretty good for what it was worth. They just gave it, penalty neutralization. And honestly, it helps with her. I assume they're going to keep her, like, visible attack check. So honestly, that's not really the worst.
Right. Yeah, so her having that better lull, like all stats -5 with Nullify her penalties and foes bonuses, that's really huge. That means you can't really change the stat swing in combat too easily. So she has that. And then what they could do afterwards is give her, like, let's see here. On her weapon, does she do attack and res -6 on her weapon? Or does she get attack up 6? I can't remember.
I believe it was +6.
Oh, yeah, that kind of sucks. Because if it was the -6, then what you could do is just, like, have her attack the enemies with, or debuff the enemies by -6 attack and res, and then because of her new light and dark skill being so good for tanking, it would be pretty tough to get rid of her, honestly.
Yeah, I would like to see them change it from +6 to -6 attack res on the foe, because she will at least get some defense out of it, even if it's like a bit artificial.
Yeah.
And it would pair well with her B slot, so at the very least, if she had to take like a physical hit, she'd be able to.
Yeah. And that's really scary when you think about, like, these glass cannon units that aren't even glass cannons anymore. So, the first time that really became a thing, I guess Duolith was never really a glass cannon, but him being such an offensive unit with all of his reach, he's got 5 reach being a ranged cav, and then his bulk is so high that it's really tough to get him off the field. So, like, units like that, I think, are really powerful. It's just like these offensive threats that have so much bulk you can't even take them out in one shot.
Yeah, those are easily the scariest ones.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's like, what do you do? Like, you got this axe murderer coming at you, and there's, like, no stopping him. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. Although, usually, well, I somewhat cheat, because I'm definitely a big proponent on enemy phase Brave, because it is 2 attacks regardless, like, right out of the gate. So, if you had to, like, take out any sort of foe like that, they're more than likely able to. So, like, units like Altina, Keaton, all those, if they can survive the hit where they already have Vantage set up, they probably do really, really well against units like that.
Yeah, that is true. The Vantage Brave attacking on the enemy phase, that's kind of in vogue again right now, I feel. Because didn't we just recently get a unit that does that?
Yeah, we got the summer units, and then Keaton just got his refund.
Yeah, Summer Edelgard is the one I was thinking of. She has basically just a Brave attack on either... Is it either phase? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, it's both phases.
Yeah, and then you run a save skill on her, and basically there's just no stopping her at that point.
Yeah, it's pretty gross, dude. She's so good.
Yeah. The summer units this year were just, like, the ultimate bait. It's so crazy to me. They made that... What was it? The Claude? The 4-star Claude on that banner? He's, like, the best 4-star ever.
Oh, he's easily one of the best ones, yeah.
I don't even think it's close. Like, name one demote that's better than that Claude.
Groom Raphael, but I don't think it's as comparable because he's, like, a support unit. Combat-wise, he's probably the best one.
Groom Raphael, huh? Yeah, well, okay, yeah. He's more of a support, though. He's not really, like, trying to fight.
Yeah. So that's a bit more cheap. But in terms of just demote seasonals that we've gotten, yeah, he's easily one of the best ones, for sure.
Dude, this Ingrid is unstoppable. I can't do anything.
That's when they inflate the stats like crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't check. What interval are you on?
21.
Oh, wow. I don't even bother. Well, I just do, like, the bare minimum, because, like, I don't have, like, the duos or harmonics or whatever to properly score. So, like, if I'm already in tier 21, I just get the reward, that's it.
So you bounce back and forth, basically.
Mm-hmm. I do the same thing with Arena.
Yeah, that's the smart way to do it, because maintaining top ranks in this game is just not feasible.
Oh, no, it's not.
It's so dumb. My god, dude, I really just can't do anything to kill these guys. They're so freaking tanky. Did you remember the last round when we had the Kiel with her refine and she's got like plus 50 to all stats or whatever from the stat inflation here?
Dude, it's so crazy because like she only has like if you were to combine everything, it's like maybe 2 effects.
Right.
But like it's an unbelievable like stat swing that she gets.
Yeah. She can possibly do, like, what is it, minus 50% of the foe's attack? That's cutting their attack in half. That's so nasty.
I actually gotta think, because it was, like, up to 25... Well, wait, is it 5% per check? She's not meeting all 5 checks, obviously. Like, unless you're against, like, really specific foe. Right. But at minimum, she's, like, inflicting easily, like, minus 20 plus... even up to 30 attack, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah. When I saw her refine, I didn't really think much of it, because it's like, how is anyone supposed to figure how good that weapon was going to be? Like, you'd have to go through all the stat checks and see, like, okay, against this unit, I'm doing this much debuffs. Against these units, I'm doing this much. Like, the way that one was worded was just like, you got to be a freaking scientist to make any sense of that.
Oh, yeah.
There was no way I was going to just read it once and be like, oh, this is going to be this and this and this. Nah, that one was pretty silly. I think Lyceithia is going to get killed by Shamir here. Wow, look at this. We're actually struggling in this mode of all modes.
3 houses units are crazy stacked. Yeah. I'm afraid what they're going to do with the next game, to be honest.
Oh, what do you think the next game is going to be, by the way? You think it's going to be 3 houses too?
Oh, no, I can't see a sequel. I was partially hoping for a remake, but given that we're like 3-4 years in, I think we're going to be seeing a new game, which, I mean, isn't the worst. By any means. I'm just afraid of what they're gonna do. Because I do like 3 houses a lot. But I won't lie, like, the route split stuff definitely burnt me out on the second, like, after the second run, because they kind of just recycled the maps for the most part.
Right, and you gotta keep doing the first, what is it, like 8 chapters all the time, over and over?
I think it was like 11 or 12.
Yeah, it's a lot. You gotta basically play the first section of the game over and over until eventually you manage to do all the routes. That's why I've only done 1 route. I just haven't had the time to, like, play through the game 3 times when it's that long. I don't have the patience for that.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous. Honestly, I wouldn't have felt as burnt out if, like, most of the maps weren't recycled, but...
Right.
I mean, I get it, like, I guess they didn't expect everyone to play the same... or play all the routes, which I get, it's like a long game, but I feel like that's something you'd want to account for, you know?
How did I kill this Ingrid before? Did I might have attacked her with Catria.
I think you did, yeah. Or Lyceithia was able to get 2 attacks out.
Hold on.
But I think that was due to triangle attack.
I have a plan here. Wow, that doesn't work either. Oh boy. What is this Ingrid, dude? What is she made of?
She's made of stats, dude.
She's made of stats, dude. Oh, what did you think of 3 Hopes? Did you play 3 Hopes?
was thinking about it because I remember I put out a community poll or something, and I was like, should I get it or whatever? Maybe I'll stream it or something. And I was like, there's a demo. I'll try it out. And I don't hate the demo. In fact, I do think it was fun, but I've played my fair share of Muso games, and I like get the same feeling of like dread every time I go back to one. And I don't think it's like, I'm not gonna like fault anyone who likes it or like any like devs or whatever, because they have a formula that works and people like it.
Yeah.
But I could just say it's not for me. So as much as I would love to, I could not really muster the energy.
Yeah.
But also, I almost got it when I heard Gatekeeper was playable.
Yeah.
But then it told me, oh, you can only get him on your third playthrough. And I was like, I quit. No.
Yeah, not worth it. Just to play as Gatekeeper maybe 100 years later. No.
Yeah, no. If it was right out of the gate, I would have absolutely.
Yeah, I got it, and I thought it was fun for what it was, but it's like way too dialogue heavy. It's more so a sequel, or not really a sequel, but like a middle story to Three Houses, whereas that's not really what I like in a Muso game. I like it to be real fan servicey and have like characters that I want to play as. If you look at the first Fire Emblem Warriors game, it had all the intro cutscenes, the victory cutscenes, and it was really simple and easy to play. You didn't have to worry too much about the story. This game just has like so much micromanaging. You got to run back and forth between all the facilities and upgrade your stuff all the time. It gets pretty old pretty quick. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Definitely, not everyone's cup of tea for sure, but I don't know. Maybe in the future I'll play it, but for now, I don't know. I don't know for now. I'll have to see, but I mean, it's cool that we got at least something Fire Emblem because, unless like. I know there's like a Nintendo Direct, at least rumored to be coming out pretty soon. So I'm hoping they announce something there. I've just been hearing rounds of it like beginning of September or something. Like they haven't announced it officially, but apparently like there's like a leaked date or something that it's supposed to come like sometime this week. But don't quote me on that because it could also be wrong, and I don't want to be the guy that spreads misinformation.
Yeah, I got you. The thing about leaks, I just don't believe leaks. Until I see the actual information, that's when I'll believe it, you know? Cause like,
I'm fully on board with that mentality for sure.
How many people...
Especially, definitely like the Smash Bros. Days.
Yeah. Like, how many people just come in like, oh, my dad works at Nintendo, he told me this is gonna happen. I'm like, dude... How are we supposed to believe that? Your dad works at Nintendo? Where do you even live? Like, are you in Japan? Like, how is your dad gonna work at Nintendo? You know where Nintendo is?
It's funny, for sure. But, when they announce it, great. I'll hope for a Fire Emblem sequel. If not, I'll just have my Copium Octopath 2 whenever they decide to come out with that.
Oh, Octopath. Yeah, that's another one. They didn't really do a sequel to Octopath, I don't think, but didn't they do that other game, Triangle Strategy? Isn't that kind of like
They did
Octopath?
release Triangle Strategy earlier this year. They did, for like the past 2 years, there was a gacha exclusive Octopath that
really?
Just got localized like last month, actually. The problem, it's not a problem, but I've been trying to get into it, and I don't know why I can't, because like I want to make content on the game too, because I think it would be fun, but I just can't muster it. Maybe like I don't know what it is, to be honest. Like from what I've played of it, it is fun. Like I've only done like a part of it, but like I want to learn enough of it so I can start like making content too, because it would be fun. I think it would be something people would enjoy. But I just couldn't get into it for some reason. And I'm like a huge Octopath fan, so I don't know why.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a gacha, so like that's already setting expectations kind of low, right?
That's fair, yeah.
Most of these gacha games are just out to get you, pretty much. They just want you to spend money, and that's basically it. Dude.
Yeah.
I cannot clear this Resident Battles. What is going on here? Do I need to change my team? Wait, hold on. I need to really, like, focus here, because we've been getting smashed by Shamir, Ingrid, and Constance are just killing me. So, okay. What I did the first time, I had Katria jump in to get rid of Ingrid, I think. That's what I did. And then for... what did I do with Erica? I don't even remember what Erica did here, but she's really not helping at all at the moment. Let's see. I'll go ahead
I'm glad I'm interval tier 121 right now, because I do not want to deal with this.
Yeah, this is when it gets rough. Like, normally the mode that pisses me off is Allegiance Battles. Because just the way you have to score high in that mode is so annoying. I don't even know what the hell they were thinking with that.
I thankfully been consistent with it. So you know that synergy bonus thing they have, where you get bonus points every week if you played consistently.
Right.
I have that maxed out. So even if I don't do crazy optimal, I still get one of the highest rewards on the first one.
Right. Yeah,
but there is a second tier, I believe, but I don't really pay attention to that one too much.
Yeah, it's pretty rough for me because I have the score potential to reach top rank every week, so I just go for it to get the better rewards. And sometimes it's I don't understand why there's no bans on enemy units in that mode, because you look at other modes, let's say... I think even in Tempest Trial, didn't they ban Surtur? He doesn't show up anymore as an enemy?
I think so, yeah. They did the same thing with Fallen Dimitri and Fallen Edelgard when they released.
Right, so, those units are not okay, but, all of this shit is okay? Look at how strong these units are when they're getting so many stats.
Honestly, they could bring back Surtur.
Yeah, dude, they could totally bring back Surtur, because he's not as crazy as he was. He does, he does the 20 damage, but that's about it.
Yeah, but I also don't think they're going to refine him. I think he's just dead in the water now.
Oh, you don't think they'll refine him?
I don't know, because, they haven't been refining these units that, have had this, main presence in the meta for, a good while. You've seen they've also skipped stuff like Ophelia, Reinhardt, Owen, unfortunately, because she shares. Hector, for some reason, though, I don't know why. But at the very least, he has Berserk, so he's not, doing too bad, I guess. And I guess Surtur is an armor, so he can still cheat, but... Yeah, no, they're pretty much skipping all these units. And I don't know what they're going to do in the future, because there's a lot of units that I would love to see skipped. But I don't think they will.
Well, you say they're skipping all the meta units, and here we are about to get Brave Edelgard's refine, right? So,
that's true.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess it would just depend, though, because I would like to think of it more akin to how powerful they were at the time. So I guess for a good comparison, Reinhardt would be Reinhardt back in 2017 would be akin to I guess Fallen Edelgard whenever she came out. I guess that's a fair comparison, but she's also book 5 or something, and yada yada yada. But there's most of these units, minus Owen, have had that mainstay presence that just absolutely destroyed people, which is why I do think there's a reason why they're not touching them per se. But also, what was it? Honestly, it's hard to say in the future now. It really is. I know Ophelia was always that crazy good unit, which is why they also came out with Nagi, who has that anti-AoE stuff. and then she aged like fine wine, and I have no idea what they're gonna do at that point because, I am a Nagi enthusiast now. I've always liked Nagi, by the way. But
I always thought she was good. It's just like she has tools that are really specific to counter certain things. So she has the effective against colorless, and then she has the like really high damage reduction on AoE specials. So it's actually pretty tough to get rid of her given the right circumstances. So like Nagi, I don't think is half bad.
Oh yeah, not at all. She's pretty anti-meta right now, especially because anti-damage reduction with Slaying, Gron Raven, and the... wait, did I mention... Did I say anti-AoE?
Yeah.
She just has a lot of stuff.
Yeah, if you didn't say it, then I totally said it. So yeah, like, she does so many things.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Okay, can I get through this without, like, sucking anymore? Oh my god, what is going on here? This is the worst I've ever struggled with this mode.
Oh, I usually tend to struggle with, like, 3 houses ones, too. But the ones I definitely don't like... Well, I don't like the Allegiance ones with 3 houses, but I think the whatchamacallit, the Mjolnir Strike one is definitely a lot more egregious. Because you have, like, they're constantly spawning and coming after you, so that could be, like... that can be a nightmare, dude.
Oh, that one I feel like I have the easiest time with. Allegiance battles.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe it's because you get all the structures on the bottom that can really cheese it for you. So, like, you have the Niffle Icicle thing that gives you basically free specials. And then the other one that does, like, 50 damage to all the enemies. I don't know, I've never really...
Oh, yeah, that's true. Like, I should take advantage more of the structures. Like, I do to a degree, like, with the movement and stuff, if I need to get across the map.
Right.
But I also don't have, like, crazy good leads for, like, the one... You know that one area where, like, one unit's separated from, like, the rest?
Yeah.
Yeah, that, exactly. So, like, when I'm going up against these, like, stacked 3 houses units with, like, crazy good weapons and whatnot, it does get a bit difficult, especially for some of my older investments.
Yeah, that's one thing I really don't like about this game, is that your investments don't really last very long. Like, you invest in something, and next thing you know, they're already power corrupt.
Yeah, I think that's definitely more akin with, like, demotes, especially, without PRFs. Because
right.
A lot of... The game definitely relies on having a competent weapon to call your own, because otherwise you're really not gonna do anything.
Yeah, because, like, the passive skills... Most of the power creep is from the perf weapons and the perf passives. And then, like, the inheritable skills are really good. They're definitely nice, but it would be a lot nicer if the units just came with perf weapons, you know?
Oh, for sure. But, sometimes I don't mind. Well, I mean, I don't mind per se if it means we get new inheritables for, like, older units that kind of got, like, bit in the butt with, like, really bad refines.
Yeah.
Although nowadays the quality control is a lot better. But you occasionally have stinkers. But still, like, I don't mind the idea of, like, new units coming with inheritables. Especially if it means, like, they're a lot more accessible.
Right. Okay, I'm trying my best to, like, not mess this up. We've gotten this far already. Can I, like, find a way to get this done? Let's see here. I'm just going to get rid of this guy. This is the guy that has the dancing veil, so I'm going to go ahead and pop that. And then I guess we just got to rely on RNG now. Like, whichever one of my units, hopefully it's not Catria, so I can do something about this blue thief. Alright, come on. Of course. Of course. Actually, hold on. What I can do is this. I can attack this guy. I can cancel up 1, and then I can jump with Catria. Okay, that one took all of my brain power. Yeah, so what was I going to say? We were talking about, like, investments and stuff.
Yeah, like older units, newer units without PRFs,
Right.
basically for scoring and BST creep. Because that's the other thing. They want you to invest into, like, to me, it feels like they want you to invest into these newer units, even if they're just significantly worse and more accessible units, because they have updated BST.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know anything about Dragonflower costs, it's really obnoxious, to say the least, because, you know, we have, I think infantry require 2,660 flowers, at least Gen 1, Gen 2 ones,
Right.
if they just want to max it out, which is ridiculous. So, like, introducing new units, maybe they don't have a PRF per se, they have updated BST, they're super easy to invest into. They're going to be definitely more tempting to build, especially now with Arena creep, but Arena's just kind of, you don't really want to invest into Arena, especially if you're going, like, tier 21, because
Yeah.
the sunken cost versus, like, the return investment is just not worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I can understand that. Like, okay, they don't want you to just be able to build units that score high enough for Arena. I say that, and we got Atlas recently, who scores 190. But, like, this, I think, is the most egregious thing. You go over here, look at this. Okay, so Morim's a really good merge project, right? Let's take a look at his skills, though. Even Attack Wave and Wrath, and that's it. Like, this is what they consider premium skills for free-to-play. All right, let's take a look at Limstella. See what they gave
I could not
Limstella.
tell you how many times they released even Attack Wave into this, and then not in the normal pool.
Yeah, just like any of the attack waves. Like, who cares? Does anyone run attack waves at all? So Limstella's got defense and res form and then sabotage attack. Like, who cares? That's not good enough, man. They need to hold it down. Give us some good stuff. And then this
I do kind of like sabotage attack. I do like more accessible sabotages. I would like to see sabotage defense, because that one is definitely really, really good comparatively.
Right.
But I could also understand why they're not putting that one in particular, because that's like one of the best ones.
Okay, but look at this. They gave Gonzalez attack and speed push 3, and that's fine because you can use it to inherit the level 4 version. But instead of giving him that, why not just give him Swift Sparrow 3? Like, is that too much to ask for? Because I feel like Swift Sparrow 3 is not as good as the other A skills that boost attack and speed anymore. Like, Push 4, you just get the stats on both phases. The Solos, you get the stats on both phases without taking any chip. What else is there? The Ideals and the also, the ones that the Flyers and Cavalries get. Which one is that called again?
Catch?
Yeah, Catch. So Ideals and Catches, like, there's so many better speed boosting A skills, and we can't even get, like, the lower end side of the scale. Like, we can't get Swift Sparrow 3. We can't get Death Blow 4. Who even uses Death Blow 4? Is that
maybe
even a
for
thing?
Reinhardt's, but that's about it.
Well, yeah, Reinhardt, but no other unit is using Death Blow 4. So, I mean, why not just make that free to play? They may be looking at it like, oh, it's a gold border skill, it's going to help them score too high. But no, actually, there's no way for free-to-play players to score high enough, even if they had all the best skills on their units. It's like, BST and duo scoring power creep is just so high right now that literally you're not scoring high enough to stay in Arena unless you've got all of these nonsense units. Like, this dude here, he's got his bonus BST from his legendary skill. I'm looking for, like, a really egregious one. Okay, this guy right here, Duo Crom, like, he's the highest scoring unit in the game now. Because they released that gold border B skill. So, like, how in the world is anyone supposed to score high enough just from getting, like, Death Blow 4 to be able to compete with the whales that have this guy at plus 10? It's just not happening.
Yeah, probably not.
So I don't understand why they can't just give us, like, some... I'm not even asking for the good gold border skills. I'm just, like, the ones that came out 4 years ago. Like Death Blow 4. We can't get that free to play? We can't just get a Grand Hero battle unit that has Death Blow 4? Is that too much to ask? Okay, got a little ranty there, my bad, guys, but you gotta spit truth bombs when it's relevant, right? So, okay, let's go ahead and do Arena Assault, and then we'll go ahead and hop out of here. Oh, 766. Pretty good score.
That's not too bad, yeah.
Yeah, so we got here... Okay, Sothis, then we got Julia, we have Tiki, and then we got Dagger. Yeah, look at this. Like, who is supposed to compete with this in terms of scoring? Dagger's the second highest scoring unit. He gave Sothis chill, defense, and res. He actually should have gave her the dragon seal, distant counter dragons, because... Did you know that seal scores 300 SP? So
yep, so that along with 300 SP B slots,
right.
Wow, they really made Arena scoring a bigger pain now.
Yeah, it's like impossible to keep up with the score in Arena. Unless you literally just plus 10 every single unit that comes out, and who's gonna do that? Other than, like, super whales.
Yeah, but that's the thing, too. Like, every year, or, like, it feels like way more often than it should be, it just goes way overboard with the scoring.
Yeah, for real. Who was the high... I think Ninja Korin was the highest scoring unit, and then... almost immediately after, they released a score creep on the duo skills that was even higher than hers. So... Mm-hmm. What was Korin? Or actually, no. I don't think it was Korin. Was Korin 195? I can't remember.
I don't remember, but I do know that the highest scoring units right now are Ascendity Doom, Duo Crom, and Halloween Sothis, I think. Because Distant Counter Seal and then
right.
8 changes 500.
Yeah. The thing that makes me the most, like, scratch in my head is to change Fate scores 500 SP. And Lord only knows why. Like, why? Is there any reason why they needed to make that skill score that much? Because
I would love to know myself. They tend to have a... Well, I don't want to chalk it up to bias. I mean, it's easy to do that, but... Right. They have some reasoning, surely.
I couldn't tell you, man. I really don't know.
I couldn't tell you either.
Yeah, like, the bias they gave to Crom with to change Fate, and I didn't check the new Crom, the Brave Crom. Is his new assist also 500 SP?
You know, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I don't remember it might actually be 500 SP, because why not, right? It's Crom. They just love Crom so much. It wouldn't even be that bad if they'd just give us other assists that score 500. Can you imagine if we got Reposition Plus? Like, just as an inheritable passive?
Honestly, I would love to see Positional Assist Pluses.
Yeah.
To be honest, even if they don't score the same as to change Fate.
Right. Like,
because I'm really sick of using rallies, dude. I need to, like, position out if I'm getting ran down by, like, 3 move and 4 move cavalry.
Exactly. Like, Arena is so unplayable now. Because, look at this. Look at Nina. She has essentially 6 reach if you pop the duo skill.
It's crazy.
And then Crom with his reposition antics, they can run Dagger to have Pathfinder. They can run Duo Peony to dance and then grant the jump effect.
Mm-hmm.
The whale teams for Arena now are just, like, impossible to deal with unless you're using, like, actually good units yourself, which, let's be real, you're not. If you're free to play and you're just trying to score as high as you can.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I always bounce between 19 and 20. 18 if I forget some weeks, but that's also like kind of how I don't get burnt out in Arena, because I only have to play it once a week, or once every 2 weeks.
Right.
And then I'm basically free. I do my dailies, for sure, because, I mean, free Arena coins and whatever else.
Yeah, I used to keep up with Arena. I had a really long streak. I had like a 2-year streak of just maintaining tier 21.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that's just not happening anymore. It's just impossible. There's no way to... Unless you whale on every banner, you're not staying in tier 21.
Nope.
So, yeah, like, I had to eventually just give it up.
You know, that's also part of the reason why I'm glad they didn't make Arena Crowns like a currency.
Yeah.
That would have been...
Can you imagine?
Something. Oh, yeah, I was worried about that.
It's like, okay, come spend your arena crowns to buy a free copy of all these cool 5-star units. I don't know about that.
Yeah, that would have been really something.
Yeah, okay, at least in this mode, though, this is why I like Arena Assault. You get to play using basically your whole box. You're not limited by score or anything like that, aside from the first fight.
Oh, yeah. That's why I like Arena Assault. You can basically bring whoever you want.
Yeah. Oh, why don't we go ahead and use this? Let's get Brave Crom in here since we've been talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we got here another one of these Duo Sothuses with Io's Shield. I can't tell if they're doing that because she's not good enough as a distant counter unit or because she already has distant counter innately, so they're like, oh, let's go with the option that's going to make her fight better as opposed to score better. You know?
I would love to know myself, to be honest.
Alright, let's go ahead and do this. What are your thoughts on this Ninian, by the way? This dancing Ninian? Well, the fallen Ninian.
I think she's pretty cool. Honestly, don't really have like any sort of points with her. I like that she grants extra movement to dragons and stuff. And then she has that accelerated cooldown thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
That's the best thing about her, I think, is that she accelerates your cooldown. Because a lot of you, like, Brave Seliph, for example, that's the one thing he doesn't have, is the acceleration on his cooldown. So if you just get that from Ninian, there's not really anything that's tanking Seliph when he can do bonus damage like that.
Especially with Miracle and No Follow-Up. If he even misses the one-shot for some reason, yeah, it's going to do quite a bit.
Oh, wow. He can't... Okay, hold on. Let's see what we can do to get rid of this dagger. Maybe the move is just dance Asker here, because he's already got Bonfire. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, looking pretty good. I love this guy, by the way, Asker.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, I can't believe they killed him in the story. Do you follow the story, by the way?
I used to, but then I just didn't for some reason in book 6. And this is like the time for all the crazy stuff's happening. So I'm like, why did I don't know. I don't usually skip this stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I decided this one. Maybe I just gave up after book 5. Because I mean, I like the OCs, but I don't know, man. I can't really get into the story as much because they only have so much to work with, and you can tell it gets definitely rushed by the end.
Right. Yeah.
But maybe I'll read up on it. I don't know. I'll see what happens.
I've thought the story since book 4. I felt like the stories have been pretty good. It was always kind of shaky. Book 2 was real annoying. It's like, oh, let's fight Surtur, but he's invincible. We can't kill him yet. So it's like we kept on fighting him, and it didn't go anywhere because he can't die. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of weird. And then they did the same thing with Hel, where we kept on fighting her, but we can't really defeat her yet. So,
yeah.
Book 2 and 3 for me were kind of low. But then with Book 4 and all the way up to Book 6, I think the stories have actually been getting way better. I'm really down with this. This guy right here, by the way, is the hero we need, but not the one we deserve. Look at this. Running the dance skills on his units so we can get a free pass.
Oh, I love people like that. They just make it so much easier to play.
Yeah, thank you so much, this guy. Who is this guy? Volta. Thank you so much, Volta, for being a bro. I still gotta kind of be careful because this guy has to change fate still. But he has a silver bow, though, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this team that I'm running here, I have Raphael with Yuri support, so we can just get the instant Blazing Wind.
Oh, yeah, that's what I usually do on, Astra season. It's pretty good, dude.
Yeah. Oh, so how's your run been so far in Chaos season this round?
Honestly, I've been doing okay, I guess. I haven't really, super, invested into it yet. I've been meaning to update my defense.
Uh-huh.
But I'm very hopeful I get wins on it so I can make another, video on it.
Right.
Because... I don't know, if you knew about this, but for, the longest while, I used to run like this Conrad defense that had like Courtly Candle deflect melee, and everyone would always plonk against it. He would just soak the damage, and then they would just lose every time. It was so hilarious, and I'm hoping to bring it back in Chaos Season because what killed it initially was the advent rise of saves.
Mm-hmm.
So like near saves just completely shut it down because lunge doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
However, with Chaos Season, you can only run one save, and using my massive brain in this, I figured people are more likely to run a far save than near save. And I have been pretty correct on that front so far.
Right.
So what I'm hopeful for is redo the defense whenever the time comes. I can bring back Conrad because he's like I've never like fine with him in like his base game, but I definitely grew a bigger appreciation with him with Faye because of all the stunts I was able to pull with him.
Justice for Conrad, man.
Oh, absolutely. But he could still run a mean Courtly Candle deflect set.
Okay, so you were running the Valentine Conrad?
No, OG. The real one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
it actually worked out pretty well.
This is kind of awkward. Now I can't do anything else with Edelgard here. I was hoping to like run in and kill 3 of his guys, but alright, hold on. Gotta just make a little adjustments here. Luckily there's all these trenches, so Nana can't just jump us. Yeah, so go ahead with your Conrad. Oh, weren't you running a defense that had like 7 Dumas, like 6 Dumas or something?
I still am, and it works for some reason.
I wouldn't say for some reason, dude. He breaks all their structures, and then they take 7 damage from each one. So, like...
It's definitely one of those, like... Well, I wouldn't even say knowledge check, to be honest, because it's mainly just... If you don't prepare for that, which most people don't, because who the hell's preparing for 5 Dumas?
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, you're gonna get checked, which is hilarious.
That's...
Every time.
And now that he's got his refine, like his weapon, he could actually fight, kinda. He's not a bad fighter.
Yeah.
So, like, that team, I could totally see people getting swept by the full Duma defense. And then who's the other unit you run with him? Is it Fallen Edelgard?
It is Fallen Edelgard. I am that much of a degenerate.
Oh, man.
She gets, like, 6 blessing buffs. So, like, she ends up getting, like, 77 HP with, like, 80 visible attack, even with, like, Fortress defense reps.
Oh my god, yeah. And then they try to tank her. It's like, oh, maybe we'll be able to kill her, but then she lives, and then she uses her, like, Gale Force to move and attack somebody else.
Yeah, dude, I love that defense. Even if it, like, doesn't always consistently get wins, when it does, it's amazing.
Right.
But, like, I'm never changing it out. I love it too much.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have, like, a bunch of dark defenses that I just don't use.
Uh-huh.
Because, like... I always have to change those out.
I don't blame you, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Exactly.
So the saying goes. Yeah, this one is tough. He's got double Croms and then Nina and Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure how this one's gonna go, but worst case scenario, I have how many resets? What is it, like 2 resets now? They give you 2 mulligans.
Yeah. I'm glad they added that. It makes it much more convenient.
Yeah, they kind of had to, because they were going way too out of control with all the, like, monster units that you can't even bait anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that guy can get a kill. That's new. Alright, what I think I want to do here... Nina's the problem, though, right? Because, like, I can get rid of these 3 right now, but then Nina... Hold on, is there a way that I can do this? Hold on. So, like, if I repo Elliewood in, let's move her away. I can have... Oh, I can't even kill Crom, okay. Wow, so that means Makai is the only unit I have that can kill that Crom. This is scary.
Probably, yeah.
What in the world? What is going on here? Okay, hold on. So, what I can do, I can attack here. I can cancel him back 1 space. I can then have Micaiah reposition him. Micaiah doesn't have cancel, though. That's the one downside to her. Really, I'm just going to be relying on Micaiah to get... Oh, I have the pressure charm, too. I can limit their movement to 1. Actually,
pretty good, yeah.
That might be the thing to do here. Because then they're not going to be able to reach me. Yeah, so, okay, so I do this. Let's have Eliwood get rid of Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just cancel him over there, and then we can have Micaiah go over there. I mean, this is all for nothing if Micaiah can't kill Chrom here. I hope she can.
I assume she can.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank God, yeah, she's able to. Man, that would have sucked. This Chrom is so annoying, especially on a defense tile.
Oh, for sure. Thank God he has no res, though.
Yeah, he's too bulky, man. Like, this guy, there's no reason why this guy should be able to reposition and then move again. Like, this one's not quite as bad, because his weapon isn't as insane as the other one, but, like, that guy, he just has Deadeye ready right from the start. There's just so many factors you got to keep in mind when you're fighting him. It's just not fun.
It's really gross.
Was it after? I think it was after that Chrom came out too that they decided to give us the 2 resets in Arena. It's like, yeah, we kind of just broke Arena, so we'll let you reset again. My bad. My bad, guys. Oh, man. Alright, so now all we got to do is get rid of Nina here, and I think we can just go ahead and dance and then pop his duo skill. Alright, yeah, there we go. This Nina's so broken, by the way. What do you think of this Nina?
I really dig it. I kind of wish she had something to help her synergize more with, like, lethality, because she's not really, like, the best user of it, but even then, like, she's pretty cool.
I mean, even without it, she has, what, Blade Tome and Broadleaf Fan? And adaptive damage? And...
Gunthra, if you thought she was annoying, yeah, add adaptive damage to it.
Yeah. This Nina is... I love that she came out before Choose Your Legends, too, so it's like, they really got the ultimate pate right there.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, this time, we got a little more leeway, I think. We have Hinoka, who can take multiple actions on this team. I just want to make sure Chrom isn't going to, like, jump anybody. Yeah, these trench tiles are really annoying.
Yeah. You know, actually, on the topic of, like, Aether Raids for a second, you've been paying attention more to Chaos Season. How often have they been rerunning Chaos Season? Is it, like, once a month?
I think it's, like, once every 3rd season or something. I mean, that's just a guess. There doesn't really seem to be any rhyme or reason to when they release Chaos Season. It's just the thing, but... Yeah, I don't really know an exact time that they do it. They just seem to do it whenever.
Right. Because I'm just wondering, because, yeah, no, like, I haven't really been paying attention to Chaos Season too much outside of, like, maybe the first couple seasons.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know how, like, often they do it, so.
You gotta love that first season, right, where it was like, oh, okay, guys, we made a boo-boo. Let's just null and void this season entirely.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be IS without messing something up.
Right. Yeah, they're so... I love it. They're so quick to add these changes, and then... Like, they like changing all the modes, and then... They don't really playtest them, so it's like, oh, okay, we'll release this. Like, remember, what was that mode again? Frontline Phalanx, when they released that the first time, and we beat it in, like, 2 days or something?
Yep.
Like, did they even playtest that? Did they have any idea how that was going to go down? Or they just released it and they're like, okay, we'll just put this in and there you guys go, have fun.
They probably just released it, but in fairness, I don't know what they really would have playtested with that mode, because it's literally just press a button and that's it.
Yeah,
but it was funny, because like it was probably one of the worst game modes they've ever released, just in terms of just enjoyability.
Yeah, I mean, some of the other modes, I've seen people like downplay Lost Lore, because it's just you just set your units out on an adventure and they come back with rewards. So people are like, oh, there's no gameplay there, it sucks. But I mean, every gacha has a mode like this where you just passively get rewards. So
yeah, of course. I
don't really mind that. But like, let's see a bad example of one that I think just sucks. Okay, so Frontline Phalanx is just dumb. Like, why is that even a mode? I don't understand. They could have spent resources, precious resources and time and effort they spent making Frontline Phalanx. Why couldn't they have spent that time and effort to update some of the other modes and make them better? Like, make those modes more fun, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Although, I have to seriously wonder how much time and resources went into that specifically. Because, I mean, it's not really, like, it's really bare bones. We'll just say that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and then Tap Battle, too. I hate Tap Battle. It's so annoying.
Really? I actually thought it was fun. Mainly because, like, it's just something different.
Yeah,
just from the regular standard stuff that we always get.
I wish they would add an auto battle to Tap Battle, because I don't have the patience to just go through all the maps and just keep tapping the button.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Tap Battle was a miss for me, but I get it, though, because, like, a lot of people like these... What do you call them? Like Guitar Hero style of games where you're just like tapping the button in time with the beat. Is there?
I vibed with Guitar Hero as a kid. I remember Guitar Hero 3 on the Wii.
Yeah, which one?
Oh, that was my jam.
Yeah, which one was the one that had Through the Fire and Flames?
That was 3.
Oh, that was 3? Yeah, that was the one that really blew up when I was in school. It was like everyone was playing Guitar Hero.
Oh my god, yeah, it was a sensation.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, games like that, I can understand, because people really do like those kinds of games. So I can understand why they would want to do Tap Battle. But in the concept of, like, Fire Emblem Heroes, I don't really see a need for a mode like that.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I guess it's just, like, a cute addition regardless, but... Yeah, no, Guitar Hero is, like... Yeah, that was my jam, dude. I loved playing that game.
I guess we can quickly take a look at this before we hop out. Yeah, so I've got... My defense has been doing pretty good. It's the same Niffle defense that I was running last time. Like you said with your Conrad thing, like, people aren't expecting the near attacking enemies, so they run far save, and then you just catch them off guard.
Exactly.
So, like, let's go ahead and take a quick look at how this team really works. Okay, so this guy right here, what's he going to try to do? Let's see. Alright, he's just breaking some structures for now. Alright, just trying to move himself into position, I guess. Okay, what he did, he probably tried to attack Hector with Sonya there, but it didn't work. Because Hector, on this team, Hector's getting Domain of Ice, and then he's getting Flame's damage reduction, and then he's getting, like, Knott's got double distant guard, so it's pretty tough to kill this Hector.
Yeah, they're really trying there.
Yeah, he's doing his best. He managed to, because he has the Bolt Tower. If I had Medius, if only, but I don't, so I have to just eat it when they use the Bolt Tower.
Right.
But he's not able to get his units out of the way, so I can just go ahead and... Like, here's the thing. He was running Milla for isolation, but I have odd and even recovery on this team, so you can't isolate my Dancer. So, like,
that's smart, actually.
Yeah, so he's got Milla right there. His plan was probably to just isolate Ninian and hit and run, but then I got both of the recovery skills, so it's not going to work. So there's just no escaping this Niffle. She's going to attack something, and you can't do anything to stop it. And then this guy over here, this one was pretty gross. I remember this one. Yeah, so, like, he's got... This is typically what you would expect, right? So we got Far Save Hector, and then we have Asker to deal with the melee units. So he's going to try to bait here. I don't know if that's such a good idea, man. Let's see how that goes for you.
Yeah, this makes me curious on my own wins. I'll check in a bit, though.
Yeah. This Niffle is so gross. She has the null follow-up wind sweep combo. And then she just gets so much speed. So, like, even if they had near save, it wouldn't even help them. Because she has wind sweep anyway. So there's, like, no getting away from this Niffle.
And, dude, Summer Niffle is scary.
Yeah. Alright, I guess that's, like, as good a place as any to call it. We ripped for, like, an hour and a half there. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. You guys in the chat, ZeShado is a very busy guy. He's, like, getting him on one of these videos is like trying to get PM1. You can't do it unless you ask him in advance, right? So, ZeShado, I just want to say thank you very much for being on this live stream with me.
Yeah, dude, anytime.
Yeah, so all y'all in the chat, check him out if you haven't already. I'm sure you've already checked out ZeShado, but in case you haven't, there's a link to his channel in the description of this video, so give the homie some love. Go ahead and subscribe to him and check out his videos. He did another video on the possible refines for Choose Your Legends 4 as well, so definitely check that one out. And that's going to wrap us up for today, guys. So this is your boy Tacho signing out. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll catch y'all again on the flip side.